Hey guys, it's Kenny O from TKO Fantasy here. Today I'd like to give you some tips and advice for NHL daily fantasy sports on sites like Fanduel and Draftkings. Personally, I use Fanduel, but this will work for both. So when picking your lineup for daily fantasy sports, the number one thing is to know the scoring system. So Fanduel quickly. Goal is 3 points, assists is 2 points, plus minus 1 point, penalty minutes 0.25, shots are 0.4, power play goals, power play assists, you get an extra 0.5. In goalies, you get 3 points for a win, 2 points for a shutout, every save is 0.2, and goals are -1. So there's a lot of hidden points there. If a player gets like you could use Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf, let's say. Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf pretty much the same amount of points when you look at the NHL leaders, but when it comes down to FanDuel and sites like that, Corey Perry gets more goals, so more points there. He gets more penalty minutes and more shots, so he definitely collects more points on a nightly basis. So there's some little hidden points, so keep that in mind. Next is you really need to know the games. You need to do your research. This is something I really enjoy. If you want to cut down the time, definitely you can look at Vegas odds. Vegas odds, they do a lot of research into the game, so they'll be able to tell you who they believe is going to win. And definitely you want to put players on your team that are from winning teams. And definitely you need to look at sites that will tell you like updated injuries, players that are being benched, players that are called up, or maybe goalies that are getting a rest night because of back-to-back games, because you don't want a big fat zero in your lineup that will really kill you. Next, I like to pick cheap defensemen. When you look at top defensemen and low-value defensemen, there's not a huge difference in production. If you can grab a low-value defenseman that gets on the power play unit and is playing a team that doesn't score a lot, there's a great defenseman to throw in your lineup. Next, I like to look at the high-scoring games. You really want to put players on your team that are going to be in high-scoring games. If it's going to be defensive game, definitely don't dress those guys. But if you feel that the game's going to end up being 5-4 or something along that lines, load up your team from players with that. There's different strategies. Some guys like to pick, let's say, just 3 high-value guys that will fill the lineup with really low-value guys, like $3,000 guys. That could work. You're really gambling on that the big name guys are going to work out. There's another strategy that I've been using late that I enjoy, where you dress pretty much a full lineup. You put the center, the right wing, the left wing on your lineup. If they score a goal, you get roughly 10.4 points because the goal scorer gets 3 points. Let's say the wingers both get an assist. There's 2 points each, so there's 4 points there. Everybody gets a +1 rating, so there's another 3 points, and the shooter gets a 0.4, so there's a total of 10.4 points. So that's a great way to do it. And you have a couple lineups like that, and say one of your lineups get 2 goals, the other lineup gets 1 goal, there's 30-some points. You throw in your defenseman, your goalie, all of a sudden you're close to 50 points. That will pretty much guarantee you a win. After that, the other little tidbit would be to pick players and defensemen, like I said, that play in the power play unit. Roughly, when you look at stats, 25% of all goals in the NHL are scored in the power play. So if you can get players that are on the power play unit, you also get that 0.5 on top of everything. If you see a team that's playing another team that's highly penalized, that would be a great pick. So remember all these tips and advice when you're setting your lineups tonight. Remember to play within your limits and enjoy, and look back to TKO Fantasy some more tips and advice. Thanks a lot.